Your cat doesn't meow at other cats. Not as an adult. Not ever. That sound. The one they make when you walk through the door. When they follow you down the hallway. When they sit outside the bathroom and call for you. They invented it for you. And if you live with more than one person, your cat sounds different with each of you. Not slightly different. Distinctly, specifically, unmistakably different. As if each person in your home has their own name in a language only your cat speaks. Most people assume their cat meows, like it's just something cats do. A generic sound for a generic need. Feed me, let me out, pay attention. But when researchers started actually recording and analyzing the vocalizations of domestic cats across different contexts and relationships, what they found was something that reframes the sound entirely. Adult cats living in the wild do not meow at each other. Feral cats, wild cats, cats in colonies, they communicate through scent, through body language, through a complex vocabulary of posture and position. Vocalization between adult cats is rare, reserved for conflict, for mating, for distress. The meow, as most owners know it, that soft, persistent, conversational sound, does not exist between cats. It exists between your cat and you. And the story of how it got there and what your cat has done with it since is one of the most quietly extraordinary things in all of animal behavior research. Point 1. How the meow was invented. Domestic cats have lived alongside humans for roughly 10,000 years. In that time, something happened that researchers didn't fully appreciate until they began comparing domestic cats to their wild relatives. Cats learned that humans respond to sound, not to scent signals. We can't read those. Not to subtle postural cues. We miss most of those too. But sound. Sound we notice. And so, across thousands of years of living with people who responded when they heard something, cats developed, refined, and expanded a vocal communication system directed entirely at humans. Dr. John Bradshaw at the University of Bristol, whose research on feline behavior has shaped the field, describes this as one of the most fascinating examples of an animal adapting its communication specifically to a different species. Your cat didn't inherit the meow, they evolved it, for the specific purpose of being understood by you. Point 2. The vocabulary is larger than anyone realized. In 2019, Dr. Suzanne Schutz at Lund University in Sweden published research that had taken years to assemble. She recorded and analyzed thousands of cat vocalizations across dozens of cats and their owners, cataloging not just the sounds themselves, but the context in which they appeared, the relationships involved, and the responses they produced. What she found was not a small set of generic sounds. She identified a rich, varied vocal repertoire, different sounds for greeting, for requesting food, for expressing discomfort, for seeking attention, for moments of affection and moments of frustration. And this is the part that changes everything. The sounds were not consistent across cats. Each cat had developed their own version, their own accent in a sense, their own particular way of producing each vocalization that was shaped over time by the specific humans they lived with. Your cat's meow does not sound like your neighbor's cat's meow. Not because of breed or biology, because your cat has been talking to you, and your responses, your reactions, your particular way of listening shaped the language as it developed. You are not just the audience. You are a co-author of the language your cat speaks. If you've ever felt like your cat was trying to tell you something specific, you were right. This channel exists for exactly that. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Point 3. A different sound for every person. Here is the finding that stops most people completely. Cats who live with more than one person do not use the same vocalizations with each of them. They develop distinct sounds, different in pitch, in duration, in rhythm, in tone, for each individual in the household. The sound your cat makes when they see you is not the sound they make when they see your partner, not the sound they make when they see your child. Each sound is specific, Each sound is consistent, used with that person across months and years in the same context with the same qualities. Researchers studying multi-person households have described this as the closest thing in animal behavior to individual naming. Your cat has not given you a name in any human sense, but they have given you a sound that belongs only to you. A sound they use when you enter a room. A sound that, to anyone paying close attention, could be translated as this one, this specific person, mine. Think about the last time your cat called for you. That sound, with its particular pitch, its specific length, the way it rises or falls at the end. Nobody else gets that sound. It was made for you. It has always been made for you. Point 4. What the sound carries. The research on cat vocalizations goes deeper than structure. A 2022 study from the University of Paris found that cats modulate the emotional content of their vocalizations based on their relationship with the person they're addressing. Specifically, cats embedded a cry-like frequency within their solicitation calls when directed at their primary caregiver. That frequency sits within the same range as a human infant's cry. It is processed by the human brain in the same neural pathway, the one that triggers an almost involuntary caregiving response. Your cat didn't learn this consciously, but over thousands of years, the cats whose sounds produced the strongest response in humans were the cats who were fed, protected, and cared for. The sound your cat makes when they want something from you is not manipulation in any cynical sense. It is the result of a long, slow conversation between your species and theirs. A conversation in which your cat learned precisely and specifically how to reach you. Point 5. The sound they make when they don't need anything. Not every vocalization is a request. This is the one most owners miss because we're trained to respond to cat sounds as needs. Hungry, wants out, wants attention. But researchers documenting everyday cat owner interactions have cataloged a category of vocalizations that appear in no-need contexts. When you're sitting quietly and your cat walks past and makes a small sound. When they settle near you and produce a short, soft trill. When you speak to them and they answer, not to request anything, but simply to answer. These sounds have no transactional purpose. They are not asking for food or access or attention. They are, in the most straightforward reading of the evidence, conversation. Your cat is talking to you because you are someone they talk to. Because somewhere in the long history of your relationship, talking to you became part of what their days contain. The trill when you come home. The quiet sound when they pass you in the hallway. The answer when you speak to them from across the room. Those sounds belong to you. They always have. Point 6. What happens when you talk back? The research on bidirectional vocal communication between cats and their owners points to something most owners have felt but rarely acted on deliberately. When owners respond to their cat's vocalizations, verbally, consistently, in a warm tone, the cat vocalizes more. Not in an anxious, attention-seeking way, in a conversational way. The 2022 Paris study found that cats directed significantly more complex vocalizations at owners who engaged in regular vocal exchanges than at owners who responded primarily with action, feeding, petting, opening doors, without verbal acknowledgement. The cats who were talked to developed richer vocal repertoires, more varied, more contextually specific, more clearly communicative. Your cat's language grows in the direction of being understood. And the single most powerful thing you can do to deepen that language is to answer. Not with the right words, not with the right tone even. Just to speak back, to acknowledge that a sound was made, that it was directed at you, that you heard it. Your cat has been building a language for you since the day they arrived. Every time you answer, you tell them it was worth it. There is a sound your cat makes that no other cat on earth makes. Shaped by your responses over months and years. Refined by the specific way you listen. directed always at you. When they call for you from another room, when they answer when you speak, when they make that small sound as they pass you that seems to mean nothing and somehow means everything. That is a language built for one person. You didn't teach it to them. You inspired it, simply by being the person they wanted to reach. If this changed the way you'll listen the next time your cat makes a sound, the next video is already there.